Upside the head.
I think we all want to get that lesson sometime.
But actually, but anyway, just head forward back in. So and tell right, come about halfway down here. Somewhere right in this area, right in here. Yeah, I got a guy right there. Yeah, I know.
Check. One, check, test.
The other guy rolled really a lot. The guy that gave away that stuffed animal, at the end, he did really well. Oh, okay.
You seen the trainer anywhere?
No, I haven't.
That was interesting. That takes long.
It's been estimated we waste 2.5 days each year scanning one.
I'm here to save my money. This is ridiculous. It isn't such a big one. Most of our money is studies.
first year here, we didn't see it. And, you know, yeah. And so we're still alive. We love that. Coach, just 10 minutes left on the robot. Oh my gosh. That's what we're talking about.
Well, Saturday it was cold. Saturday was cold. Sunday wasn't too bad. The rest of the week, I was on Tuesday, Wednesday was fine. Thursday got too late. On Thursday was fine, and then that Sunday I had to go up. It was windy that day. Yeah, so I had to check out. The wind was blowing way too bad. I get there after 6, 7 o'clock at night. Sunday.
But I end up being probably
Generally what I used to do is I call Megan. The last time I worked for was Monster Jam. So I called Megan. She said, "Oh, we got the Monster Jam Saturday." I said, "Okay, fine." And I called her. Monday, she said,
take George Jenkins. Yeah, and then you go up that little tiny overpass. Train tracks or whatever. Simon went around downtown.
cafeteria.
It's been estimated that it was 2.5 days each year standing time. That's why we're always conscious to check our time, doing everything we possibly can to get you home. Between the time these works, like the Yonge championship, others shining in the winter.
Welcome to the land of adventure and discovery. A place where special moments can be found beyond every year. A land where you will learn and journey where neighborhood and fun is authentic. A land where visions grow active your senses. Welcome to the perfect family-friendly vacation. This is Central Florida, and our invitation is open year-round. Sign up, earn points, and win stuff with the Legend Media Group VIP Rewards Program, sponsored by Lakeland Toyota. Just log on to legendviprewards.com, sign up for free, and start earning points for cash, trips, electronics, concert or theme park tickets, and more. The VIP Rewards Program is just one extra value that Legend is offering to our readers. And don't forget, bonus points can be found in the Legend. Never miss any bonus points. Call and become a subscriber today.
Today from George Jenkins Arena at the Lakeland Center in Lakeland, Florida, it's continuing coverage of the FHSAA Girls Basketball Finals. This is a Class 3A state semifinal between the Blue Wave of PK Yonge with a record of 28-1 and the Hustlers of Melbourne Central Catholic, who come in with a record of 24-6. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Rideout along with Will White. We welcome you inside the George Jenkins Arena here at the Lakeland Center. We do have the national anthem actually coming up since it is the first game of the session, so we'll be pausing for our national anthem in just a moment. Will White, in his first year as the head coach of Northeast High School, he was here in the finals, Boca Ciega, in 2008, 2009, and 2010. Will, back-to-back trips here to the finals. Always special to come to Lakeland. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much. It's going to be fun.
All right, so as I mentioned, we do have the national anthem, so we'll be pausing for the playing of our national anthem here in just a moment, and then we'll give you the starting lineups for both teams. The Blue Wave with a record of 28-1, making their sixth Final Four in the last 7 years. They were state champions in 2010 in Class 2A. Taking on the Hustlers of Melbourne Central Catholic, as I mentioned, coming in with a record of 24-6. And now let's pause for the playing of our national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, our national anthem.
That would be the chant of Home of the Wave, the PK Yonge fans in attendance, as we are about ready to give you the starting lineups. We'll do it first for the Hustlers of Melbourne Central Catholic. They were here in 2004. They lost to Gulliver Prep of Pinecrest 60-53 in overtime in a Class 3A semifinal. You see their starting five, a couple of seniors in the starting lineup as they go with a three-guard lineup, Ebanks, Baker, and Martinez. And in the front court, it'll be Millard and Jones. The Hustlers 24-6 under Candy Terry in her 16th year with Melbourne Central Catholic. She has won 334 games against 153 defeats. And the Blue Wave of PK Yonge, 28-1 on the year. Their only loss this year was to Gainesville High School. In the backcourt, one of the best, Nia Johnson, number 23, 5'9" senior, headed to Baylor to play for the #1 team in the country. Also in the backcourt, Mallory, and in the front court, Johnson, Dollinson, and down low in the middle will be Ariel Allen. A couple of seniors in the starting lineup for the Blue Wave of PK Yonge. Well, this one should be a good one. In fact, these next two, the 3A semifinals, I think have a chance to be the best of the day.
Yeah, absolutely loaded. All four teams, community schools, Parkway, Melbourne, and PK Yonge. Powerhouses lately, strong traditions. It's going to be a great game.
And as you look at the all-time records, by the way, if you'd like to buy a DVD, and we'll give this out again, you can purchase a DVD copy of this broadcast by going to FHSAAsports.com. But looking at the championship records all-time, Jacksonville Reball, it's good to see them back in the finals again. They'll be here this week. but also PK Yonge is creeping up. They are third all-time in most tournament games won.
Yeah, and games played their way up there as well. So just a traditional powerhouse. I'm looking forward to seeing just the whole team, but Naya especially. Both of these coaches have real strong ties to their communities. Coach Terry came down from Washington, D.C. to play at Florida Tech and stayed there ever since for 16 years. And Coach Powers from PK Yonge graduated from PK Yonge. So both these coaches real strong with their school's traditions.
Willie Powers in his 15th year, but he did take some time off to go see his son play at Georgia Southern. He has compiled a record of 292 wins and 108 defeats. As I mentioned, PK Yonge in their 6th Final Four in 7 years, and just a couple of years removed from a state championship in Class 2A. Now in Class 3A, the 3A semifinals, the other 3A semifinal will follow between the Seahawks of Community School of Naples and the Panthers of Miramar Parkway. And as you look at the state rankings, according to Source Hoops, there's a couple of them out there, but I like to use Source Hoops. Miramar is ranked number 1 in the state. Community School of Naples is ranked 3rd in the state, and PK Yonge is ranked number 2 in the state.
So it all played out as it should. Sometimes you get like all the top 3 or 4 in the same region, but this time it seemed like it all was balanced out and worked out maybe as it should.
Well, in Alachua County trying to bring home a few state championships this week. Newberry was a winner earlier today. They will play for the Class 1A state championship tomorrow. Newberry defeated Hilliard by the final score of 49-45. They will play Ponce de Leon in the 1A final tomorrow at 10 a.m. Ponce de Leon defeated Holmes County 52-42 in a matchup of two teams that are just 18 miles apart in Holmes County. And then Buchholz High School will play in the Class 7A semifinals in a couple of days. So as many as 3 teams from Alachua County could bring home a state championship, and it continues now here with PK Yonge in this Class 3A state semifinal. So we are ready for basketball. 8 minutes up on the board. We'll play 4 8-minute quarters to determine who will play in the Class 3A state championship game. Now the 3A final, and it's interesting how they do this, Will, you get a day off. I mentioned the 1A final is tomorrow, but the 3A final is not until Thursday.
Yeah, a couple of those teams, when they've expanded this year to the 8 classifications, some of the teams get an extra day and some do not. And that's, as a coach, we have a wardrobe malfunction there. Came out. But some of the teams do get that extra day, and as a coach, that's priceless. I mean, you just absolutely need that day to prepare at this level against these kind of players.
All right, Kamari Jones will jump for the Blue Wave. They are wearing the home whites, and Central Catholic in green jumping center for them. Actually, it'll be Kamari Jones in green, jumping for Central Catholic, Melbourne Central Catholic. The tip is controlled. Kiara Mallory at 5'4". Didn't really think she had a chance to get that tip.
Yeah, I think they easily said, hey, go ahead.
Yeah, they conceded the tip. You're right. And the Hustlers begin with the first offensive possession of the game. Good defense. PK Yonge opens up in a man-to-man defense, it looks like.
I think a 2-3.
Yeah, you're right, 2-3 zone.
But you're right, they're so active. They were really getting after it, really trying to match up.
As we're about 30 seconds in, and the first shot of the game on the way, and the shot is no good by Dejanay Baker, and here come the Blue Wave. Back to our left, Nia Johnson, cross-court pass over to Shayla Johnson, and her sister knocks down the shot. The 5'6" junior, Shayla Johnson, gives the Blue Wave an early 2-0 lead.
I asked Coach Terry what she thought about coaching against an All-American. She said in all of her Final Four appearances, she's had to coach against All-Americans. Dorian Williams from Ribault, Erlena Larkins from Benjamin twice, Cynthia Fowles from Gulliver, Nia, and now Nia. So she was like, I'm not sure too many coaches
really
can say that.
That's some really good company right there.
That's crazy. That's some tough luck, too.
Yeah. All right, so the Blue Wave with an early 2-0 lead. Sylvia Fowles becoming the first player in Florida to dunk in a basketball game. And there's a basket for Ariel Allen, the 6'1" senior. Gives PK Yonge an early 4-0 lead. I don't know that I've ever seen a girl dunk in a high school basketball game.
Not even close.
At least not at the high school level.
Right. Seen it a couple times on the college with Candace Parker and the sort.
Kamari Jones,
freshman.
Her first 2 of the game. She averages 13.3 a game. And as we come back the other way, a foul called against Melbourne Central Catholic.
Jones was actually a star at Florida Air Academy, transferred to Melbourne after Florida Air closed their program, their girls basketball program.
Also, PK Yonge had a transfer. Courtney Dollinson transferred from Eastside High School. Dejanay Baker picking up her first foul. Good look down low. Layup good by Allen.
Nice left-hand finish there by Allen.
So the Blue Wave lead by 4 as we've played almost 2 minutes of this opening quarter here at the Lakeland Center. The Class 3A state semifinals here on the FHSAA network. Ball tapped out but rebounded in the lane, and now a loose ball picked up by Baker. Inside to Millard.
Hustlers have a really strong front court. Tall.
Johnson finds Kiera Mallory, who lays it in, her first 2 of the game, and timeout call by Candy Terry and the Melbourne Central Catholic Hustlers. 5:38 to play in the opening quarter. 8-2, a 6-point lead for the Blue Wave of PK Yonge. As you see, Coach Terry there in her 16th year, 334 victories. As I mentioned, they were here in 2004. They lost to Gulliver Prep in overtime in a Class 3A semifinal. I mentioned PK Yonge won a state championship in 2010. What I didn't tell you was the final score. They defeated Community School of Naples, who will play in the next semifinal in 2010, 62-36.
Wow. The only big one I saw in the boys basketball not long ago with Nick Calathes when they were at Lake Howell really put a hurt to Lakewood, running clocked them in the finals. That's how strong a team is.
To broadcast their game against Eastside in a semifinal game. Eastside won the game and would go on to win their only state championship. Eastside at home tonight against North Marion in the region semifinals, as it's the second round of the boys action tonight. The boys will be here next week for the FHSAA boys basketball finals. Both teams turning it over. Dollinson with it for PK Yonge. Over to Johnson, and Naya got fouled. That's no basket. Got fouled before the shot.
Right now the tempo is really in favor of PK Yonge. I asked both coaches if they'd rather have a 100-95 game or a 35-30. And Coach Powers was emphatic. He'd rather have the 100-95, and Coach Terry definitely wanted the 35-30. So the
put me down for the 100-95.
Oh, absolutely, me too. I just saw
a 3, no good by Mallory, and rebounded by Melbourne Central Catholic.
Just saw a regional quarterfinal boys game between Shorecrest and Bradenton Christian, 101-97. That's fun.
Well, the most points we've seen today by one team was by FAMU. They scored 67 points. And in the lane there, that's Alex Millard. 5'9" senior. Melbourne Central Catholic with 4 seniors on their roster. Here's Johnson. 15-footer banked home by Brooksy McGraw. Also 4 points on the Blue Wave roster, including their McDonald's All-American, Nia Johnson. A 3, no good by Ebanks, rebounded by Nia Johnson. Good look. McGraw misses the layup, and the Hustlers come away with a rebound. Yeah, they trail by 6.
She might have had that look in the future to Brittany Griner when she goes to Baylor.
Right.
Filling that lane.
Loose ball on the floor. It's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow points to the team in white. It'll be PK Yonge basketball. 3:36 to play in the opening quarter. Timeout on the floor for a media timeout. As I mentioned, one more semifinal to go. Hard to believe it'll be the 6th game. Doesn't feel like we've played. This is the 5th game now. Doesn't feel like it. It's been a lot of fun today.
Yeah, it's a great place to come. You know, really people should come out here and check it out. Great venue. You know, it's just, it's a really good experience.
Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., I'll handle the play-by-play. Dennis Mintal will provide the color analysis for the 1A state championship between Ponce de Leon and Newberry. Both teams with identical 27-2 records. Also, FAMU and Hollywood Christian in the 2A final will be at 2:30. Corey Stevens will handle the play-by-play. Dennis Mintal, well, he's going to have a busy day tomorrow. Dennis is going to do all 4 games. 4 games tomorrow, 4 games on Thursday, 6 on Friday, and then 4 on Saturday. As the FHSAA tournament has been expanded. Why not expand one more class? We'll just go all week long with the tournament.
There you go. We'll just add a 9th classification. At first, I wasn't sure about the expanded classifications, but seeing it play out and seeing all the good quality teams that we have, it's really worked out really nicely.
And we essentially got to see an inaugural rural classification semifinal earlier today.
Because do they only play 2 rounds to come to the Final Four?
They play 1 less game. Right. Here's Johnson for 3, no good. Rebounded, though, kept alive by PK Young's Kiara Mallory. 3, no good by Lumpkins, but a big offensive rebound by McGraw, who puts it back in there. Brooksy McGraw, the 6'3 junior, with 4, and the Blue Wave lead by 8. Ebanks draws a foul, and she'll shoot 2. Came down on her ankle, but it looks like she's going to walk it off and be okay. Foul called on McGraw, her first, team first. And here is Ebanks at the line shooting 2 shots.
A 58% free throw shooter.
And she comes up just short there. Looking for her first points of the game. And she got it.
One thing I found interesting was Coach Terry's husband's the boys coach at Melbourne Central Catholic. So they definitely have basketball in that bloodline.
In our last game, we had the girls coach in his first year, Gary Downing, who was the boys interim coach the year before at American Heritage. McGraw comes up short on the turnaround, rebounded by Melbourne Central Catholic. Hustlers down 7, under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter.
Notice both teams really good ball movement early on.
PK Young shooting slightly over 50%, 5 for 9. Shot in the lane, good by Vaughn Chavez-Gray. Chavez-Gray, a 5'9" sophomore, gets her first 2 of the game. Melbourne Central Catholic with some balance. Jones leads the way at 13.3 a game, but then you've got 4 players who average 8+ points. And there's Nia Johnson, first 2 of the game for the 5'9" senior, headed to Baylor.
It looks like Melbourne Central Catholic in a diamond and 1 as well against Nia, so we'll see how that plays out.
Face-up jumper in the lane, good by Chavez-Gray. She's gotten 2 big baskets off the bench. And it's a 5-point game with under 2 minutes to play. Opening quarter from the Lakeland Center here at George Jenkins Arena. Mike Rideout along with Will White here on the FHSAA Network.
Yeah, definitely a box and 1 by the Hustlers.
Mallory for 3, no good. Good play defensively as Millard boxed out underneath. She lost it, but saved by Melbourne Central Catholic. Hustlers with the basketball. Chance to close it to a 3-point game. Well, they can make it a 4-point game, rather. No, 3-point game, excuse me. Had it right the first time. But they couldn't get the shot to go down. Here's Johnson to the baseline. Follow shot by Lumpkins was blocked, but she got fouled, and she'll shoot 2.
Seems to be a lot of ball there.
Looked like it to me, too. That was called on Kamari Jones. That's 6'1", blocking the shot of 5'3". So I'm with you. I thought that she got all ball, and the free throw was good by Michaela Lumpkins. But the official was right there on the call. By the way, your officials for today, your referee is May Foley. The umpires are Lionel Coney and Craig Clay. Lumpkins, second free throw is good again. She got them both. 6 players have scored here in the opening quarter for the Blue Wave.
Yeah, both teams seem to be pretty balanced when you look at their scoring per game. And Melbourne Central Catholic, that's one of their biggest advantages is that they have real balanced scoring.
Good pass from Ridyard, who had just checked in. Over to Jones. They will retain possession. Under a minute to play here in the opening quarter.
PK Yonge in a 2-3 zone out of bounds. But definitely matching up out of it, not sitting back.
Chavez Gray gets it over to Ebanks. Ebanks lost it, and we're going to have a jump ball. Nia Johnson ties her up. Possession error, though, points to Melbourne Central Catholic. Hustlers down 7. Substitution. Sarah Martinez returns. Chavez Gray, who gave him some good minutes off the bench with those 4 points, will check out. She actually limps towards the bench. Looks like she's got a couple of braces on each knee. And a foul called on PK Yonge.
I think that's going to be an Ariel Allen.
That'll be her first. Team second. Ebanks. Now in the hands of Martinez. Good look inside, and the layup good by Jones.
Both teams doing a pretty good job of looking to get the ball inside, which is a really big advantage here at the Lakeland Center if you can get that ball to the basket.
Yeah, I really like the interior passing here in this opening quarter. That's going to be 2 shots for Allen. Ariel will head to the line. She has 4 first quarter points. Kamari Jones picks up foul number 2.
Yeah, Coach Terry's over there saying that if it was going to be a foul, it was on someone else. Because she knows how valuable that's going to be with Ebanks out.
Allen knocks down the free throw.
Ebanks also transferred from Florida Air. Her and Jones both came over when Florida Air shut their program down.
Second free throw, no good. She hits 1 of 2. Here comes Melbourne Central Catholic down 6. Ball taken away by Shayla Johnson. No foul was called. Johnson with a miss in the lane. The follow good by Allen. It beats the buzzer, and that gives the Blue Wave an 8-point lead at the end of 1 quarter of play. 7 first quarter points for Ariel Allen. 19-11. PK Yonge leads Melbourne Central Catholic in this Class 3A state semifinal. We'll return to the Lakeland Center right after this on the FHSAA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the FHSAA network, go to FHSAAsports.com/SBP.
Mike Rideout along with Will White back here at the Lakeland Center. Class 3A state semifinals. The Blue Wave of PK Yonge with an 8-point lead. They were led in that first quarter by Ariel Allen, the 6'1 senior, with 7 first quarter points. Meanwhile, Kamari Jones had 4. And off the bench, Vaughn Chavez Gray had 4 to lead the Hustlers. And it will be PK Yonge basketball to begin the second quarter of play. Johnson. Boy, displaying her dribbling abilities. 3 rims out for Dollinson, and here comes Melbourne Central Catholic. Martinez had it taken away by Dollinson. Lumpkins into the front court to Johnson. Over to Johnson, her sister. Pass deflected, but saved by Nia Johnson. Nia, a year older than Shayla. Turnover. Thank you. Well, as we take a look at the first quarter numbers, PK Yonge, 8 of 18 from the floor. Melbourne Central Catholic, 5 of 13. Blue Wave rebounded Melbourne Central Catholic 11-7.
Nice back cut.
Boy, a big block there by Allen. And also, as I look at the stats in that first quarter, no turnovers for PK Yonge.
How many high school teams can go a quarter without at least one turnover?
Yeah,
very
at
very
least
rare.
one.
Yeah,
Right.
very rare.
Ball stolen right here in front of us by Kiera Mallory. Nice save on the monitor there.
I thought it was coming right into our laps.
Under 7 minutes to play until halftime. An 8-point lead for PK Yonge. Good defense. Ball deflected. Loose ball taken away by Ebanks. Martinez in the front court ahead to Baker. Baker works it down low as the shot rims out for Chavez Gray. She almost had another one. Here's Johnson. And she got fouled, and she'll shoot 2 shots. That will be a blocking foul on Martinez. Number 2 on her. Jones with 2. Johnson, a 75% free throw shooter. Two points so far for the Baylor signee. And if she hits both free throws, it will give the Blue Wave their largest lead of the game, a double-digit lead. You'll see the time, 6:11 remaining in the opening half. Johnson got them both. Nia Johnson with over 1,900 points in her career. Also, Ariel Allen surpassed the 1,000-point mark for her career this season. It's a nice little 1-2 punch, isn't it?
I'll say if you got people over 1,000 points, people don't realize, how consistent that is. Even if you started playing as a freshman, that's a lot of points. And to push 2,000 points it's unbelievable. Especially when you're getting double, triple teamed.
Unselfish basketball. They work for the open shot and a lay-in for Chavez Gray. That's 6 points off the bench for the 5'9" sophomore. Back to single digits. Ball stripped and stolen. Baker.
Yeah, actually, a little tidbit here. I guess these shouldn't be too much of a strangers because PK Yonge lost last year in the regional finals to Florida Air, where Jones and Ebanks played.
So maybe a little bit of a revenge.
Come full circle.
That's right. An 8-point lead for the Blue Wave. PK Yonge with a basketball. Mallory into the front court. Gets it off to Johnson. Shayla overthrows Mallory, and that'll be over and back. A couple of substitutions for the Blue Wave. Nia Johnson had checked out. She's back on the floor.
There's that first turnover we were looking for.
Also Ariel Fort, a 5'11" sophomore. Yeah, we finally get the first turnover.
It's been a pretty well-played game so far. Which you expect at this level.
Well, we talked about how good the 3A semifinals were probably going to be. Basket good by Kamari Jones, and she draws the foul. 6 points for the 6'1" freshman.
And she seems to be a legit 6'1". Sometimes you got to trust these heights, with a grain of salt. But yeah, definitely 6'1". And then you also go with Ebanks in there right around 6-footer as well. That's a big front line. A lot of these girls teams at this level, they might have one big, but to have two is a really big advantage.
Jones halfway to her totals, her average. She averages 13.3 a game. She's got 7. Here's Johnson missing up top. But a big rebound. In fact, it looked like she just kind of took it away, but Brooksy McGraw with 6 points off the bench. She's second behind Ariel Allen, 7 points to lead the Blue Wave. And a three good by Ebanks. Yaya Ebanks, first field goal of the game, the 5'10 senior with 4. And an air ball by Johnson. Martinez over to Baker. Johnson all over. Will Powers really getting into the officials' ear about that one. Bank shot wouldn't go down for Martinez, but the long rebound tracked down by Dejanay Baker. And now one of the smallest players on the floor gets the rebound. Kiara Mallory at 5'4".
Both coaches having a rough go of it here, giving the officials a hard time. But you know, the pressure's so high, every foul makes a big difference. But it's been very consistent.
Nia Johnson will go back to the line and shoot 2. Alex Millillard, as the first free throw is good.
I really have enjoyed the tempo, though. I know, again, it favors PK Yonge to be playing at this sort of pace, but Melbourne's really kind of hung in there with him real well.
Yeah, only a 5-point game. Make it 6, as Johnson is perfect, 4 for 4 from the foul line. She now has 6. And we have a timeout on the floor. Media timeout with 3:47 to play in the opening half. PK Yonge leading Melbourne Central Catholic by 6, 25-19. In case you missed it earlier today in the Class 1A semifinals, it was Newberry 49, Hilliard 45. Ponce de Leon defeated Holmes County 52-42. So those two teams will play for the 1A championship tomorrow at 10 a.m. In Class 2A, it was Hollywood Christian defeating Grandview Prep. Boy, that was a good one. 49-47 was the final there.
Right, back and forth. There was probably 3 or 4 lead changes the last 3 or 4 minutes.
In a losing effort, Pierre Louis had 18 points and 13 rebounds. Garvin had 11 points and 14 rebounds. We talked about the fact that Grandview Prep team is young, but we'll see them there again.
They'll be back.
And then also in the other Class 2A state semifinal, it was Florida A&M out of Tallahassee, a winner.
Over Academy at the Lakes.
See if I can find the final score here. 67-46 was the final in that one.
I know Coach Reynolds from Florida Tech, and I knew that Coach Terry had played for him, so I asked him what he thought about her, and he said, this is one of the best quotes that you could ever hear. He said, she is still the standard by which he compares all of his players.
Wow. That's going to be a foul. I don't know will they give her 2? She never got the shot off, but they will give Millillard 2 shots. Ariel Allen picks up her second foul. Alex's first free throw is no good.
Two of Melbourne Central Catholic's losses were to Final Four teams, Coral Springs Charter and University. So again, you see these high-level teams playing really tough schedules, and it pays off.
Yeah, even one step further, let's look at their opponents. Lake Highland Prep, which advanced to the 4A region semifinals. Coral Springs Charter, which is in the 4A Final Four. Father Lopez, which lost to PK Yonge in the 3A region semifinals, but they had an 18-point lead against PK Yonge. That's a 2 for Nia Johnson. Johnson with 8. And then also University out of Orlando, which is in the 8A Final Four, and Vieira, which lost in the 7A region finals. You're right.
Yeah,
they're battle tested.
They're ready.
Under 3 minutes to play in the opening half. Good block. Johnson got the block and the rebound. And now they can open up a double-digit lead. Just under 2.5 minutes now to play until halftime.
Not trying to bring the defense out on her, give her a little bit more room to drive. Nice curl screen right there.
Well, Johnson might have stepped back and taken a three. Instead, it'll be Mallory for three, no good. And traveling called. The Blue Wave turned it over.
Little full court man press here.
Now a chance for the Hustlers to bring it within 6. Jones got fouled, no basket. And that will be the 4th team foul. Excuse me, the 5th team foul against the Blue Wave. Courtney Dollinson picks up her first.
Brookie McGraw back in the game.
And we've got a foul before the ball is inbounded against the Blue Wave. I think that's on Dollinson again. It will be on Courtney Dollinson. She picks up 2 quick fouls. Baker gets it into Ebanks. And the ball stolen away by Lumpkins. Lumpkins over to Mallory, layup good. That's 4 points for the 5'4" freshman, and it's back now to a double-digit lead, 29-19. A steal, loose ball picked up by PK. Johnson, no-look pass.
Timeout.
McGraw lays it in. She's got 8, and Candy Terry wants a full timeout. As she tries to settle down, Yaya Ebanks, her senior. You can see her having a conversation with her now, and well, that's the threat of this PK Yonge team. They can open things up in a hurry on you.
Yeah, they just had a nice little roll right here. Again, I thought early, the tempo was really favoring PK Yonge. Melbourne, Central Catholic were kind of hanging there with them, but it's really starting. It's not really their style. And so to continue to go at that pace, they're going to have to have a rough go of it. But now that they're down, they're going to have to kind of keep that pace and try to get back into the game.
Looking at the leading scorers for both teams, I mentioned Nia Johnson with 8 points. 6 of her 8 here in the second quarter. And her and Brooksy McGraw, who has scored all 8 of her points off the bench, leading the way for the Blue Wave. Ariel Allen right there with them, 7 points for her. Also 7 for Kamari Jones of Melbourne Central Catholic, and 6 off the bench for Vaughn Chavez-Gray.
Yeah, McGraw for PK Yonge, she was really filling that lane up ahead as a big, getting out in front of there. So she's working real hard. Right there, stepping up and getting that steal. And look at her fill the lane there really fast for a big.
Johnson, basket and 1. Well, you don't want Nia Johnson to heat up, and she's doing just that here in the second quarter. That will be the 7th team foul against the Hustlers. 2nd foul on Dejanay Baker.
I still go back to what we talked there before the game of Coach Terry, all of her Final Fours having to go up against a McDonald's All-American.
Johnson 4 for 4 from the foul line, make her 5 for 5. As I mentioned earlier, she shoots 75% from the foul line. And the ball taken away. Good hands by Dollinson. Johnson with it now in the front court. Lumpkins for 3, no good. How about the offensive rebound and the putback by McGraw? Hustlers have got to find an answer inside for McGraw. Pass stolen away by Johnson. Nia was cut off, but then kind of a stutter step move, and then takes it to the baseline and lays in.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Change of direction like that, you just don't see it at that kind of level at a high school level. So you can definitely see why she's a McDonald's All-American.
She's got 11 of her 13 here in the second quarter, and it's a 19-point lead with under 20 seconds to play in the half. And a foul called on Brooksy McGraw went for the steal and instead picked up the foul, her second.
The Hustlers have a hard time getting set any sort of half-court offense. PK Yonge's man defense on their guards is really giving them fits.
7th team foul. Each team in the bonus. But again, only 16 seconds remain here until halftime. And on the 1-and-1, Alex Millard makes the free throw. Second free throw, no good. She almost got her own rebound. Blue Wave can play for the final shot. Johnson picked up by Millard. Now down to 4 seconds. Johnson for 3. And that'll be the end of the first half here at the Lakeland Center. The number 2 ranked Blue Wave of PK Yonge will head to the locker room with an 18-point first half lead. Our score at the break, PK Yonge 38, Melbourne Central Catholic 20. We'll step aside for a few moments. We'll come back and recap the first half, give you the individual totals as well as our team totals. An 18-point lead for the Blue Wave here in our first 3A semifinal on the FHSAA network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the FHSAA network, go to FHSAAsports.com/SBP.
Mike Radout along with Will White back here in this Class 3A semifinal at the half. A Blue Wave of PK Yonge with a 38-20 lead. They scored 19 in the first quarter, 19 in the second quarter. Pretty
Nothing
good
like
balance,
consistency.
Will. Yeah, good balance. And as we take a look at the halftime stats, numbers that jump out to you.
Well, looking over here, just seeing that they have a lot of people scoring, so a good balance scoring right there. The rebounding advantage, not too much there, but free throw shooting by PK Yonge, 8 of 9. That's a big difference there, even though they're not shooting well from 3. And 15 of 32, so they've gotten off not only 32 shots, but they're shooting almost 50%, so they're getting it in close, finishing strong.
21 rebounds for the Blue Wave, out-rebounding Melbourne Central Catholic in the first half. And they had 6 players that scored in the opening half, led by Nia Johnson's 13, but Brooksy McGraw down low at 6'3". She had 10 points as well, and I think that's one of the keys for them.
I was really impressed with how she filled the lane as a tall player to be able to get out on that break. We've talked about it in the previous game. Those tall post people, they have to go block to block, but man, she was filling that lane really well for someone of her size.
There's the web address. If you would like to buy a DVD of this broadcast or others, go to FHSAAsports.com. It'll be Melbourne Central Catholic basketball to begin the third quarter of play. The Hustlers trail by 18 at the break.
Yeah, I think they really got to focus on getting that ball inside. Even though PK Yonge's tall inside, there is a mismatch because Melbourne Central Catholic has 2 big girls. So they got to really focus on getting the ball in there.
And, Will, if you're Candy Terry, what do you tell your team at the half?
You've been there all year. You've played some tough teams. Yeah, this is a tough team, but they have the weapons to get back into the game. But it's going to start with the rebounding and making each possession count.
Dollinson with a rebound and a foul, so she'll shoot 2 shots. It'll be the first foul on Yaya Ebanks.
That's her first personal.
And you see PK Yonge does seem a little bit more aggressive on the rebounds, offensive rebound, getting the ball back. That Melbourne Central Catholic, if they want to get back into it, they're definitely going to have to step up their intensity on the rebounding.
Well, and likewise, if you're Willie Powers, what do you tell your team? Sometimes you can have a big lead and you get complacent.
Yeah, one of the things I think I always try to preach is at 0-0. What's the score? 0-0, 0-0. Up a lot, down a lot. You just want to keep playing. Never give a team a chance to get back into the game. So if you're up 18, make it 20, make it 25, make it 26. Never be complacent.
Courtney Dollinson had 0 until she made those 2 free throws there. And a foul on the rebound going to go against the Hustlers.
Fouls on number 11, Alex Millard.
Alex Millard picks up her second foul. It's a 20-point lead for the Blue Wave of PK Yonge, trying to become the second Alachua County team to get into the state championship game. A third team from Alachua County is here, Buchholz, which actually had a lead against PK Yonge in the fourth quarter, a double-digit lead. Nia Johnson scored a career-high 49 points in the comeback win.
People don't realize how hard it is to score that many points. Especially in a game that matters. If the game's on the line, if you're at that point, the other team's going to be focused on you. So to still be able to score that many points.
(84-77) was the final in that one. Buchholz ranked number 1 in the state in Class 7A. This foul is on Shayla Johnson of PK Yonge, her first.
So again, PK Yonge only 1 loss all year, and that was 10 points to Gainesville. And they're on a 15-game win streak, so they're definitely playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Ebanks throws it into the hands of Ariel Allen. Here's Johnson with it. Ball tapped out and rebounded by the Hustlers. They've got an open player. Now they do find her. Jones lays it in. Kamari Jones with 9. That's the first field goal of the second half for either team as we've played a minute and a half.
One thing about PK Yonge is even though Nia Johnson's a senior, they are relatively young in the other areas.
Yeah, only 4 seniors on the roster. Melbourne Central Catholic also young. They also have 4 seniors on their roster. Nice move, Spinrue, but they couldn't finish. Jones with a miss.
Yeah, that's how they got to get back into it, but they just got to finish that.
Johnson lost the handles on it. It will go back to the Hustlers.
Because they do have an advantage inside, Melbourne Central Catholic. If they can get set in the half court, they got real quick post moves right there that's given PK Yonge a hard time. But they got to get it there.
Coming up next, the other 3A semifinal between Community School of Naples and Parkway of Miramar.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch Community Schools of Naples in their regional finals game against St. Pete Catholic, and they're phenomenal.
3 no good. The follow, though, good by Millard. Millard. And it's a 16-point game with 5:27 and counting here in the third quarter.
One thing to give Community Schools a little hard time in that next round is they shoot a lot of threes. And this is traditionally a tough place to shoot for threes. I know PK Yonge was 0 for 10 in the first half on three-pointers.
Nice move. Layup good by Chavez Gray. 8 points for her. Johnson back the other way. That's going to be a blocking foul, I think. They're going to call it on Baker. That'll be her third. Baker was trying to take the charge. And timeout called by Willie Powers and the PK Yonge Blue Wave, as he doesn't like the fact that the Hustlers are starting to get back in this thing. Down 14 with 5:02 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that was a big call right there. You know, you call a charge there, you got a little 6-0 run going here, you get the ball back, you made a defensive stop. And it does seem, my experience with guys basketball, girls basketball, is they don't call a lot of charges in girls basketball.
Tournament will conclude on Saturday. As we have 4 games tomorrow, 4 games Thursday, 6 games on Friday, and 4 games coming up on Saturday.
Selfishly, I'm really looking forward to that Lakewood-Dillard semifinal girls game in 5A. We played Dillard in the state championship game a couple years ago, and Lakewood was our rival at Bogey, and so that should be a real good matchup. A lot of games coming up. They're just strong matchups, game after game after game.
Yeah, it's a pretty good tournament this year.
Yeah, you saw a lot of the traditional powerhouses make it through. Not a lot of upsets in the regionals, so that's going to make for a really good Final Four here for everybody.
Shot wouldn't go for Jones, and here comes Johnson back the other way. After the 2 make free throws, she has 15. 16-point lead for the Blue Wave of PK Yonge out of Gainesville. And underneath, Donaldson had her shot blocked, but they're going to call a foul. It'll be 2 shots for Courtney. You know, I got a chance to see Ken Griffey Jr.'s daughter, Taryn. I think she had 7 threes in the game I saw earlier this year.
Yeah, I remember seeing her play. I've never seen her live, but I saw last year's finals on TV watching. Can't remember who they played, but
I think it was Lake Mary, who they beat in the region final.
Okay, yeah, I just remember thinking how phenomenal that she was. Yeah. Well, last year there was all those. You had the Griffey thing, and then wasn't a Larkin's son, Barry Larkin's son, I think, was playing somewhere. And of course, you had Doc Rivers' son with Rivers. So
right,
strong connections here in Florida.
Deep 3, an air ball by Martinez, rebounded by PK Yonge. Johnson pushing up the floor in a hurry.
Goes without saying how impressive Naya is. This is the first time I got a chance to see her play live. Got a nice frame. She works hard without the ball, sees the court well.
After a miss, McGraw sticks it back in there. She's got 12. That's her first points of the second half. An 18-point lead for the Blue Wave. Ball almost stolen away, but a layup by Kamari Jones gives her double figures, 11 for Jones.
Yeah, the Hustlers are hanging in there, scoring at a pretty good pace. It's enough to hang in there, but they just got to get some defensive stops. Give them one shot, and that's it. And
a big steal here Now off to Martinez. Sarah Martinez gets her first 2 of the game, and it's a 14-point game.
Everyone seems to kind of have this mid-third quarter waiting for their second wind to kick in.
And the Blue Wave throw it away.
Immediate timeout. That's a tough call there for Melbourne. They were on a roll.
That's probably a good timeout for PK Yonge and Willie Powers as he talks to his team as they come off the floor. 3:12 remaining in the third quarter. 44-30. PK Yonge leads by 14. Blue Wave led by 8 at the end of the first quarter, 19-11. And they extended it to an 18-point lead at the half, 38-20.
Yeah, Coach Powers just, been successful wherever he's been. Obviously, he's kind of brought PK Yonge back to the Wave, with all the success that they've had. He said that he really wanted to thank his dad, Willie Powers, for all of the guidance and he gave him as a coach.
He also has really instilled that winning tradition at PK Yonge. He said that every year their mindset is to get to the championship game.
Yeah, that's like once you build it, I think it was the movie, I can't remember what movie, but the good news is that winning is contagious. The bad news is so is losing. Sometimes you see these, these programs that's just the expectation. You show up, we got to win. And so you kind of see those traditional powerhouses just on the expectations and traditions.
Well, the Hustlers had a golden opportunity, but they turned it over. They had a chance to make it a 12-point game.
Yeah, if I was Coach Terry here, just try to get it to around a 10-point game going into the fourth quarter.
Johnson drives in and lays it in. 17 for Johnson, who averages 19.9 a game.
And that almost 20 points a game comes with every junk defense in the world out there trying to stop her. She's going up against the other team's best defender, maybe 2 people, diamonds and ones, traps, and still there.
McGraw blocks the shot, but also picks up the foul. That will be her third. And that will put Millard at the foul line to shoot 2 shots. Alex 1 for 4 today. Free throw is no good.
You see PK Yonge here, they're really, other than, Naya doing her thing, everyone else is involved. And I think that's real important when you have a player at that level. All the other players, 3 attempts, 5, 6, 2, and 9. So, she's not doing everything on her own. And that's real important for the other girls to feel involved. Like right there, just working hard.
Well, 2 missed free throws. And the Blue Wave with a 16-point lead. 2:35 and counting here in the third quarter. Good look. Allen missed the layup, but it's tapped out long to Johnson. Naya works it into the corner. 3 on the way. No good by Lumpkins. And we have a scramble for it, and it'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow points to the team in white.
It looked like a rugby scrum right there.
By the way, the Melbourne Central Catholic girls soccer team made it to the Final Four this year. So a pretty good winter sports season.
I was going to say, a lot of times those schools compete against each other for the same athlete. So girls soccer and girls basketball, same season. That, sometimes you don't see a lot of strong in both sports because your athletes are kind of split up.
Blue Wave by 16. Johnson, face-up jumper in the lane, no good. Rebounded by Allen. Her follow shot may have been partially blocked, or maybe she was stripped. Melbourne Central Catholic comes away with it. Ebanks into the front court. That ball was partially blocked, and then Allen got a block, but also picked up a foul. That will be the third on Ariel Allen, who is shaken up on the play. Well, the Blue Wave do not need this. Here comes Coach Willie Powers.
Number 32.
Ariel Allen, a 6'1" senior, averages 11.3 points per game. Allen also contributes in other ways. She leads the team, leads the team in rebounding at 7.4 a game.
And she's been their leading rebounder tonight thus far to a 7.
She's also the only player on the team to average a little over a block a game. .145 remaining in the third quarter. Willie Powers headed back to the bench, so I guess she's okay.
Seems like Melbourne Central Catholic, they're kind of hanging around right there again. You know, they're kind of scoring, but they're scoring and giving up a score, scoring and giving up a score, so they can't really cut into that deficit. They just get a few stops and get back into that game.
She's not able to put any weight on her feet just yet. So Allen heads to the sideline. Hustlers trying to regroup on their sideline.
Yeah, these girls play so hard. It's sometimes I get on my dad. He's a different generation, doesn't quite understand, you know, modern girls basketball. It's physical and it's all out, and it's exciting to watch. And but that's the alternative. Sometimes, you know, people do fall pretty hard, and hopefully everything's okay over there.
Good to see that despite being down 16, a lot of smiles on the Melbourne Central Catholic players' faces.
Yeah, the bench over there seems nice and loose, so hopefully the girls are ready to make a little run here. Maybe get a chance to get back into it.
Free throw good by the 5'9" senior, Alex Millard. And she hits 1 of 2, rebounded by Ariel Fort.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with PK Yonge's rebounding. Their feet aren't on the ground just waiting for it to come for them. They're really getting up off the ground, getting up and trying to get it at its peak. So they've been really well coached.
Johnson for 3. Made that look effortless.
Yeah, that helps too.
20 points now for the senior.
That's where they have that good balance. You know, she's doing those things, keeping the post players involved. But those posts seem like, you know, I'm going to get the rebound. I got my part to do. I got my role, and I'm going to do it well.
A little over a minute left in this third quarter. An air ball by Ebanks.
Yeah, that wasn't the best shot. She didn't really catch it in really good flow.
So the Blue Wave with a chance to go up 20 again. Just as it looked, the Hustlers were trying to get back in the game. And they will probably play, most likely, for the final shot of this third quarter. Johnson got fouled, though. That's going to be the 4th foul on Alex Millard. Nice move by Martinez. Ebanks. Oh, good look.
That's where they're really having their most success, is getting that ball into the block and either using their speed on their post and their drop steps, or hitting that backside block. They really aren't out of this game if they can just get a few stops, which is hard to do against a really good PK Yonge team.
Ball almost stolen away, and the shot no good. The follow shot also no good after the miss by Ford. And that's the end of the third quarter here at the Lakeland Center. It's all PK Yonge in this one. The Blue Wave leading by 16. Our score at the end of 3, PK Yonge 49, Melbourne Central Catholic 33. We'll return to the Lakeland Center right after this on the FHSAA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the FHSAA network, go to FHSAAsports.com/SBP.
Mike Rideout, Will White back here in the Class 3A state semifinals from the Lakeland Center. It's been all PK Yonge. They led by 8 at the end of the first quarter. They extended it to an 18-point lead at the break, and they lead by 16 at the end of 3. Don't forget, coming up, our final game of the day, another Class 3A state semifinal between the Seahawks of the Community School of Naples and the Panthers of Parkway out of Miramar.
Really looking forward to that game. Both teams played some tough competition, and having watched community schools already, that's going to be a phenomenal game.
That'll be a top 3 matchup coming up next here on the FHSAA network. And an offensive foul called on Nia Johnson. That's only her first.
That could be a spark, though.
Five team fouls against Melbourne Central Catholic, 14 fouls against PK Yonge. Martinez. Now Ebanks. And the ball will go out of bounds back to the Blue Wave.
Starting to see some frustration on MCC.
Their last loss was to Timber Creek, 59-52.
Timeout PK Yonge.
Willie Powers probably just wants to settle things down here.
Yeah, that's a good timeout right there to really set it up. You know, here's this tough balance of like 16 points in the fourth quarter. It's not 25, 28 where you can really take the air out of the ball.
Yeah.
But it's far enough to where you don't want to stop doing what you do, but you kind of, we call it yellow. Red, yellow, green. Greens are open offense. Red, you don't want to score. So you want to kind of go to that yellow phase. You want to run everything, but take really good shots. Still run through your offense. Take the high percentage shots. But be careful with those long, crazy shots. So if you can take a little time off, get a good shot on while maintaining your momentum, that's really the key right here. See, too many teams try to stall too early. So you still want to play here a little bit.
Johnson picked up by Baker. Gets around a pick and into the lane. Boy, nice move by Johnson.
Can't stop that. That's good screen. Good defense, too. Just so you tip your hat to that one.
That's the thing that's frustrating. You play good defense, and she still hits the shot.
What can you do? That's humbling as a player. You know, you give it everything you got. Missed an open look there inside.
Ball was deflected, stolen by McGraw. Here's Johnson. Got bumped, no call. And rebounded by Baker. Baker led Jones a little bit too much. Johnson with it. Wide open, McGraw, and she missed the layup.
Yeah, she missed that layup, but I'm still impressed how could she be, if I'm coaching, you know, the other post player out in front of the break like that, you know, your guard's got to get back on defense. Meanwhile, giving her credit for covering so much ground.
Right. Loose ball. Somebody's got to get to it. And it'll be over and back.
I was waiting for you to dive for that one.
I was waiting for either Mallory or Johnson to pick the thing up for PK Yonge. But I was also in the back of my mind thinking somebody's coming over the table right on top of us.
Well, we got that one earlier.
Under 6 minutes to play in the game. An 18-point lead for the Blue Wave of PK Yonge out of Gainesville.
Little flex
Johnson
offense
underneath.
there.
And that's going to be an offensive foul on the rebound. will be on Ariel Fort, her second.
Ariel Ford, her second personal foul.
I wonder how often Ebanks brings the ball up. It seems like they've just, PK Yonge's put a lot of pressure on Martinez and Baker. So it's almost like they've had to do that in order to get the ball up. But it kind of seems like their offense just been a little out of whack. Been giving credit to PK Yonge for, I think, having taken them out of it with their good ball pressure on MCC's guards. Like we're here just all over them.
And I get the feeling that that's who they want it in the hands of is Martinez. As we see her distribute inside to Jones, who got fouled.
Yeah, I think that's really hurt, getting the ball out of Martinez's hands and trying to run your offense when you're used to kind of being able to kind of get set. It's just been real difficult.
Third foul on Ariel Fort. Kamari Jones, 1 for 1 from the line today. Make her 2 for 2, 12 points in the game for the freshman.
Again, I've been, today, these classifications, you've seen a lot of, young players just, and their skill set for being so young, the freshmen, sophomores, and even the 7th grader in the Hollywood Christian game earlier. It's really surprising to me how good these kids can be at such a young age.
Yeah, not only did Skyla Osceola start for Hollywood Christian, but she finished with 11. She's only a 7th grader.
Yeah, I remember during that game that stat came up, and I almost didn't believe it. And just phenomenal player.
That's like the 73-6 region final. I didn't believe. I had to go back and look at.
That's just unbelievable. Again, because the team to beat in there is a team that's won twice. So again, it's not just a quirky matchup thing. That's a team that won a couple games to get there and to win that by that.
Ariel Fort got her first 2 of the game for PK Yonge. Blue Wave with a chance to go up by 20 again with under 5 minutes to play here in Lakeland. Well, Allen back in the game. She got injured earlier. She wanted a foul, but no call. McGraw sticks it back in there. 14 points for Brooksy McGraw. Let's see. Brooksy McGraw averages just 5.8 points a game. But today she has 14.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that it was that low because I've been very impressed with her game today. That next game, the Community Schools and Parkway game, that's a clash of the Titans there. It's going to be Community Schools' 4th Final Four in a row, and Parkway, that's going to be their 4th out of their last 5 years, including 2 state championships. Community Schools in Naples has 2 state championships, so that's going to be a
talk
really
about
good
experience.
One. Yeah, that doesn't get any more than that. You basically have 9 out of the last 10 years. One of the 2 of them have been in the Final Four, including 4 state championships.
Kamari Jones now with 14. The freshman 4 for 4 from the foul line today.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with her. Again, we keep harping back to that, but to think of freshmen of that size, that form, she's going to be somebody who's going to have a remarkable career.
That'll be a 3 if it goes, and it does for Kiara Mallory. 7 for the 5'4" freshman. A 21-point lead for the Blue Wave of PK Yonge. And another foul against PK.
Yeah, it's a big advantage, though, too, I thought, coming here when you got to play the first game. Because you can play the first game. If you win, you can come back out, watch your opponent for the next round, and not have any worries. Meanwhile, Community Schools Parkway right now is, they're in the locker room getting ready for the game. Can't really focus on this.
Yeah.
So, often, if you can play that first game, it is a big advantage.
Nia Johnson picked up her 2nd personal.
That's really good form right there.
Jones hits 1 of 2.
So often you see so many good players, but their fundamentals maybe aren't that strong, but they're just real athletic or real strong. They have something that allows them to be successful, but I've seen today's really good fundamentals.
After a miss, a couple of rebounds for McGraw. She had her 2nd shot blocked. It goes out of bounds. Back to Melbourne Central Catholic. Timeout on the floor, media timeout. Under 4 minutes to play here at the Lakeland Center PK Yonge with a big lead, a 20-point lead here in the Class 3A state semifinals in Lakeland.
Yeah, right now you're just starting to think, you want to finish strong, meanwhile making sure everybody stays healthy so you can get ready for that next game. Did you say they play tomorrow or is the next day? Is this one where they have the day off?
Yeah, the 3A final will be played Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, so...
That's really important. That's really good for the coach to be able to have a practice. I remember when we were in the state finals, we played Dillard, and we didn't have a day in between. And they had point guard McGraw, who lefty point guard, really tough. So to be able to have a practice to kind of get ready for a lefty guard, so you can really reinforce that would have been helpful. So that day off, you're going to give both the teams a good chance to really put in a game plan, maybe get a DVD or two and watch the replays and prepare for the game. I got some good music playing here.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you to get up and dance.
We've only seen a couple of bombs in this one. Nia Johnson hit a 3. Kiara Mallory hit a 3 for PK Yonge.
Yeah, there for a while. Get this, 3-pointers combined, both teams. Middle of the third quarter, they were combined 1 for 21. The three-point shooting is very, very difficult here.
Yaya Ebanks with a 3 for Melbourne Central Catholic.
Look at that hustle
into the back court. Good hustle by Mallory.
Nice move.
And she lays it in. 9 points for the freshman.
Yeah, that was a good job stopping there, waiting for the defense to fly by. So many girls will shoot that and rush it, but to have the composure to wait for the defense to get by after hustling to get it.
Especially considering she's a freshman.
That's where MCC had a lot of luck getting that ball inside there. Very quick moves there by Ebanks.
That's 18 points for Jones.
Yeah, Jones.
Blue Wave with a 20-point lead, 3 minutes to play in the game. Johnson slices her way in the lane. She rebounded by Ebanks.
She missed that shot, but she has really good change of direction. I mean, real quick first step here, get you thinking she's going one way and ready to go the other. It's one of her big strengths.
And a foul will go, I think, on Melbourne Central Catholic. Yes, it will. As Dollison got knocked to the floor. That'll be the 16th foul against the Hustlers.
Now you feel for these girls, all the time that they put in all year to kind of get here, get a chance to play. And, the further you go, the harder it is when you lose. And that's too bad because, it's going to be a great experience. They'll remember coming here and having a good time, but, tonight it'll be rough.
Mallory cut off, now back in the hands of Johnson. And it goes right through the hands of Johnson out of bounds, or Mallory, excuse me. 2:25 remaining here at the Lakeland Center. A 20-point lead for the Blue Wave of PK Yonge. They will win their 29th game of the year. They'll move to 29-1. Melbourne Central Catholic season will come to an end at 24-7.
Yeah, and Coach Powers has already had one 30-win season back in 09. And to get to 30, when you can only play 25 regular season games, that means you have to go about 30-1, maybe 30-2. So you can only lose 1 or 2 games all year. So to have a chance to get another 30-win season is phenomenal. And playing a tough schedule.
Right, yeah. Looking at the Blue Wave schedule as Allen is at the line for a 1-1. Free throw is good. 8 points for the 6'1" senior. They played, as I mentioned, Buchholz, which is ranked #1 in Class 7A. FAMU, which is here in the Final Four in 2A. Actually, they are playing in the championship game. And Grandview Prep in 2A here in the Final Four.
And they also had, looks like they had some sort of a tournament, or they were somewhere where they're playing 3 teams. The scores were close, so you could tell it was a real competitive out-of-state tournament. So they've really set themselves up knowing that they needed to prepare themselves.
Baker for 3. Johnson got knocked to the ground. That will be a foul on Melbourne Central Catholic.
Yeah, you might want to think about taking her out right now. You're up 22, a couple minutes to go. That's the last thing you'd want to see. And maybe, maybe give some other people a chance to kind of come in, give them a Final Four experience.
Checking in, number 50, Ashley Johnson.
Yep, and she is coming in. That's a good call, Coach. Nia Johnson will check out. That'll be the last we'll see of her. She finishes with a pretty quiet 22, really. I wouldn't say she had a dominating game, but certainly did enough tonight to help PK Yonge.
Yeah, I was real impressed with the balance that she does. You can tell that she's looking to get her teammates involved.
Yeah.
And real balance, and her teammates work real hard for her, because there's no doubt that she's the leader on the team, but everybody's got to feel like their place and have a role, and they had really good balance with that. The rebounders, the defenders, everyone it seemed like they kind of were really well coached to know what was expected of them.
A 22-point lead for the Blue Wave. We'll go back to the foul line. Michaela Lumpkins, a 5'3" junior, will shoot 2 shots. Actually, no, this will be a 1-on-1, excuse me. Lumpkins 2 for 2. 2 for 2 from the foul line, both in the first quarter. And a 24-point lead for PK Yonge.
Also coming in from the Blue Wave, number 40, Shayla Parton.
See, that's real nice there. Get to come in there, get your name called out, get a chance to play.
Yeah, another 7th grader. Kyla Jackson.
I can't get over that.
Ball tapped around and rebounded by Melbourne Central Catholic. There's a wide open look for Baker. A 3 no good. And it goes out of bounds to PK Yonge.
That's one of the real big advantages you see sometimes with these with the private schools, is that you can start your program early with your 7th graders and 8th graders.
69 seconds left in the game. That's Andrea Powers, by the way, number 5, the coach's daughter. Kyla Jackson, excuse me. What's the call? Timeout, PK Yonge.
Still coaching.
Yeah, still coaching them up.
Still coaching them up. You like to see that. On both huddles you see here right now, these teachable moments, these coachable moments, they only come up so often, so you kind of see all the coaches and even the assistant coaches doing, helping out, saying what they have to say.
51.5 seconds remaining in this Class 3A state semifinal. 1 game to go here on the FHSAA network today. It'll be the other 3A semifinal between Community School of Naples and the Panthers of Parkway out of Miramar.
Yeah, Community Schools won their regional final by 2 points. They were up 11, 12 points in the 4th quarter, and St. Pete Catholic made a nice run to come back. But Community Schools was very well coached, moved the ball around, didn't feel the pressure, just that experience just coming into play there. A real tough St. Pete Catholic team. They were able to hold off.
Powers, the coach's daughter, gets it in to Jackson. And then Jackson got fouled. Actually, this one may be away from the basketball. It is.
I was able to see Parkway earlier this year at the Willie S. Clemens basketball tournament in Bradenton. Bradenton Southeast coach John Harder, Hall of Famer. And they went through a real tough Riverview and Boca Ciega team. So, they were battle-tested as well. And American Heritage. You see all these tough schools. So that's what you see in this trend with all these Final Four teams, really picking up their schedule, playing tough games, not shying away from that big game that they can pick up and play.
First point of the game for the 7th grader, Kyla Jackson, who hits 1 of 2 free throws. 25-point lead for PK Yonge. Basket and 1. Alex Millard will head to the line. She's in double figures with 10 now.
Fouls on number 50, Ashley Johnson, her first. Basket counts. The Hustlers red the line shooting 1.
And the three-point play gives her 11. A steal and almost 2 more. As the ball gets kicked out of bounds, it will remain with PK Yonge. But only 20 seconds remain, 19.7 seconds left. Inbounds pass going to be stolen away by Ebanks. And a basket for Kathy Ridyard. The 5'6" senior gets her first 2 of the game.
That was a nice pass by Ebanks there. You know, Coach said that, you know, she's the team leader, kind of keeping everybody together. Still out there fighting.
Andrea Powers, excuse me, picks up the foul, her first. Free throw no good. PK Yonge with a rebound. And the Blue Wave are going to be playing in the Class 3A state championship. They were 2A state champions in 2010. Their 6th Final Four in 7 years, and they're back to the state championship game on Thursday with a convincing 65-45 win over Melbourne Central Catholic. Well, it was all PK Yonge from the beginning in this one.
Yeah, I think they just had a little bit too much athleticism, really pushed the ball well, got into their tempo, and give MCC credit. They kind of hung out there around the third quarter to kind of hang in there, but just PK Yonge just had a little too much.
Once again, the final score. Don't forget to buy your DVDs of this broadcast at FHSAAsports.com. PK Yonge a winner, 65-45 over Melbourne Central Catholic. They will play for the Class 3A state championship Thursday morning at 10 against the winner of our next game between Community School of Naples and Parkway Panthers. For Will White, I'm Mike Rideout and the rest of the crew at Play On Sports. Thanks for tuning in. So long, everybody.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program and participate in the FHSAA network, go to FHSAAsports.com/SBP.